Hey guys, welcome to another Being Relentless vlog. Let's get into the programming. We're going to start off with our first back squat coming off of finding our heavy single last week. So this is going to be the actual, like a real cycle of just a nice, easy, linear progression of going ahead and getting some volume and building some strength in that movement. Your intention should be to go ahead and stay mentally involved during all 10 reps and trying to make every single rep feel the same. Now I understand the back quarter of that set of 10 will go ahead, maybe start to feel a little slower, but you should be fighting for keeping the same exact positioning and then keeping the relative intensity that you had at the beginning the same at the end of each set of 10. Okay. The workout is going to be involving renegade rows and some double unders. This is going to be tough for a lot of you. If you feel like your heart rate just gets jacked through the roof, through the double unders, and you go do your renegade row, and you're really trying to bear down and find a nice stable midline through really just like interabdominal pressure, or just really kind of contracting every muscle group in your body. It should feel kind of very close to like a hard style plank, to make sure that as we do our row and we pull the bell up to our shoulder and we drive the elbow back behind the upper back, we aren't having this big shift of our shoulder left to right, or shifting our hips, right? The opposite way that the bell needs to be pulled. And if you feel like your heart rate just gets jacked, then that should be your cue that throughout either your normal day or when you train, you probably aren't bracing through your midline and through your upper back the way that you should. Because what's happening is you're finding a major limiter that when you have to brace, right, to actually go ahead and stabilize and making sure things are supposed to be tracking and moving the way they should be, your midline has to contract so hard that it has to constrict either your actual lungs or the ability for your heart to pump through muscle contracting around all the different, essentially around blood vessels, right, veins, just that whole entire system. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be bracing that hard, but it means that the midline is not used to that type of contraction and stability. The more it gets used, the stronger it will become, and the amount of like that intensity level of contracting and bracing will actually start to go down, because it's used to being on and used to being able to find a position. And then you'll find out you'll be able to hold tension, and you'll be able to go ahead and do movements in a more stable fashion, but without jacking up your heart rate, because either your bloodstream's not being oxygenated because your lungs are getting compressed through the movement, or literally your heart isn't strong enough to push through blockages of the actually muscles contracting around the vessels and trying to get the blood, the oxygenation to the muscle that's being used. So I know we got a little technical there, but just that concept. So if you are feeling that, even more, all the more reason for you to keep on practicing that bracing, going through that, essentially that bracing protocol that we've been using, right? Like squeezing the glutes, squeezing the lats, right? The armpits, upper back, and then squeezing through the midline. Making sure we were doing that more and more often, being more conscious. So with that was a lot. So that is what I want you guys to focus on, about really trying to be stable through the midline. And if it is starting to be really hard aerobically or anaerobically, any type of energy pathway, then that should be your thought. Okay, this is what's happening, and now I need to go ahead and just keep on working that, so eventually that will become a normal state for your body, and then that will no longer be a limiter eventually, right? That's kind of a low brow way to think of it, right? There's other things that you can do, but that's the easiest way if you're an individual that's just here being fit for life, and you aren't going to spend a lot of hours outside of classic gym hours to go ahead and work on those skills. With that, the mobility stability part, we're looking for hips, ankles, just to make sure the back squat, you're primed for that. But other than that, we actually don't, for the renegade rows and double unders, we don't want to really loosen anything else up, right? If you're a little stiff or you're holding tension in your body for something like a renegade row or double unders, where we really do need to make sure we aren't super loose, right? We're flexing everywhere around, we're rotating, right, through the spine. We actually want to hold, right? And if our body's already tight, we need to hold tension, right? We need to go ahead and find stability. So also understanding that, you know, in certain times and certain movements, tension or stiffness we can leverage to actually make the movement better, right? Or we can go ahead and use that and leverage it to kind of tell our body, no, this is when we actually want to leverage tension. And then of course, right, depending on other movements, this is when we want to go ahead and we want to get rid of it. Like something that's really light that doesn't require a lot of tension, right? Like air squats, you'd want to really try to loosen up for that. So as your body goes in down, you aren't really having to fight your own body to go through that range of motion. So anyway, a complicated concept again, guys. But that is for mobility, stability. We talked about really through the midline, trying to wake up your glutes, your upper back, and then really trying not to mobilize a ton through the midline and through your upper back, because we need that tension to be built to go and create stability through the renegade rows. Other than that, congratulations to all you graduates over this last weekend. Some of you still might be finishing finals, some of you might be 1 or 2 weeks after finishing finals, but still congratulations. High schoolers, undergrads, masters, PhDs, doctorates, so on and so forth, right? You guys got the whole world in front of you. And remember, be relentless in everything that you do, be it academics, be it the very simple things in life as well. Remember, guys, we're trying to go ahead and be virtuous in everything that we do, and virtuosity is about doing the common uncommonly well, and just doing that can go ahead and separate you from the crowd. Guys, as always, right, drink your water, stay hydrated, don't cut the libration all the way out, but make sure you're finding at least a 1-to-1 ratio with hydration and libation. And then of course keep on sharing others in class, pouring that positive energy into the community, into that other person next to you, so that way it becomes more natural for you to do outside of the gym, and hopefully you affected somebody in such a positive way that then they go ahead and turn around and want to do it for somebody else inside or outside the gym. Guys, catch you on the flip side.